It's extremely important, not only for, us seniors, but as well as the program, just to know that we're still building the right steps. We had a good season last year, but we're definitely not okay with just being 8-5. We know we are capable of doing a lot better. We had guys stay here for 12 weeks of training over summer to prove that, and just individual work as well as group work with our positions just definitely paid off. And for sure, we're going to build off of last year, just, so people definitely don't think it was just a one-time hit and that we're not just, a one-time year team, but we're actually building the program in the right direction every year.
How do you build off of last year?
There's always room for improvement. People say we had a great season, but there's always room for improvement. You could do better. So, this year we had a lot more meeting time in the summer individually, as well as, with our position group. We watched a lot more film. We worked a lot harder in the weight room. We met a lot more than we did last summer and just critiqued a lot of things that we could have changed to do better.
Oday, you talked about the line, and you and Morgan in particular kind of anchoring that line and the pride you guys take and not letting people get to the quarterback.
To play offensive line, you got to be a different breed. I think, just to want to get down and really demolish somebody and really, embrace your presence on them is something you grow up being. So, just to have me and Morgan, anchoring the offensive line, as well as Luke Bowenko and Matt Mahalik, Connor Davis, all these other guys who've been working really hard all summer. Just know that they share that same tenacity is crucial.
What did you see this summer from Philip Sims?
Not much, to be honest with you. He's not in my position group. I've seen him 7-on-7. He looked great. He competed just as well as Rocco and David. So, I'm sure in camp he'll get the fair opportunity to compete just as well as they did.
Don't think that's any kind of a distraction, do you, the kind of the quarterback starting job battle?
No, not really. I don't think it's actually distraction at all. Phil came in, and Rocco and David embraced him. They didn't look at him, as a threat. They looked at him as a way to compete, another competitor to get better, and just critique their game.
Last year you had the same starting five guys for all your games. This year you lose two of those guys. How is the dynamic on the offensive line going to change? Is it going to think be where they get two guys in there at center and left guard who stay there, or do you think it'd be more of a rotation, or what do you think there?
Regardless of what the rotation is going to be or, who is moving where, I think, it doesn't change the fact that we're going to need to communicate a little more than we did last year. Losing Mahoda and Austin were huge to us, but at the same time, we had guys who had valuable experience and, learn from those guys every day there in practice. So just to have those guys thrown in the mix, the biggest thing for us is to be communication, make sure we're all on the same page. We already know what we're going to expect from each other. We already know our work ethic and our courage we have. So I guess it just goes with, like I said, communicating and just being on the same page.
How did those extra practices you guys had apparently, and how did that help coming into summer?
I guess it was just more time for football. We had a lot more time to get together as as a group, as a team meeting. We critiqued a lot of our goals. We sat down, and we used literally the bowl practice as a time, as like a basically mini camp where we started fresh. We went over all our plays. We went on what to critique better, what we could do better on this play. What plays worked best for us during the season. So, I guess you could say it was a little mini camp before actually summer camp. So it definitely helped us get it running start early.
Kind of also have that chemistry there down for these two starters. I mean, Coach DeSantis trying to give the guys real time in those practices, so that kind of helped them out as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Coach put a huge emphasis on getting the younger guys reps and getting the young guys, more familiar with the type of defenses they're going to see in the bowl game and the type of talent they're going to play against, not in the bowl game, but for years to come in the ACC. So, coaches definitely use that time in the right way just to get those younger guys ready.
Can you describe what that adjustment is like to a different guy next to you? Is it very different guard to guard, or what's that like?
I guess it's different to a certain extent. I've played next to Austin for 2 years straight, so, we had that chemistry. We knew what to expect from each other. But, whoever's playing next to me, I've played, next to before in practices and even in games, from last year. So, like I said, to have that experience on their belt, I know what they're going to expect from them. They know what they're going to expect from me. So, like I said, it's a little bit of a change, but just goes back to communication a lot more.
Is it also like using communication sort of in games, last minute adjustments to the line?
Yeah, I think it all starts in the film room. When you sit down and watch film, you go through all the sorts of fronts. So when you see him in the game, you're not surprised, you're not shocked. You know what to expect. This way, you just tell the person, whatever it is, hey, squeeze it this, let's slide out this way. You already know. So it's just becoming more familiar, which we've been doing all summer, individually watching film together and whatnot, and just, being on the same page.
Is there anything personal goals that you've set for yourself? I saw you projected as maybe even a first-round draft pick in the NFL draft next year. Have you thought about, you know, what you need to do to get to being an NFL player and what you want to do this season?
To be honest with you, you know, just having the option to leave last year and staying, and then with this option now, I still haven't, you know, given it much thought. You know, right now, the most important thing to me is the season ahead at hand, and you know what I want to leave Virginia being memorized as, not just, you know, another fluke or whatnot. So the reason why I stay is because I have a lot of work to do individually as well as with the team, and we're not done, and we want it all this year.
Is there one part of your game that you feel like needs polishing? One thing that maybe bothers you when you go back and look at the tape, maybe you feel like you could do better?
Yeah, every aspect of my game. You know, the biggest thing with me is I'm my biggest critic. So whenever I watch film or I work out with the purpose, and you know, I work out to get better now. Maybe if it's just pass blocking or run blocking, or you know, maybe just taking the right first step, or you know, sitting my stance the right way. So there's always room for improvement for me, and I'm sure you know the whole team as well.